Hey, you over there. Yeah, you. Are you a fan of sports? Do you like superheroes? Man, do I have a show for you. We have a show that is about boys being boys and playing superhuman basketball. It's like if Naruto and the game decided to settle the differences over basketball instead of fighting in a war. And instead of Naruto using Glock no Jutsu in the great ninja war of Fortnite, he uses ball no Jutsu. Do you guys remember the final battle of Naruto Shippuden where Naruto and Sasuke decided to fight one-on-one in a basketball match? Well, funny enough, the anime we're talking about is Kuroko No Basket, which has the final fight being Naruto versus Sasuke if Naruto's only ability is to jump. And I'm not exaggerating about it, also being the final fight of Kuroko No Basket. The final team our boy Seirin has to fight has a guy with red hair named Akashi who has the literal freaking Sharingan. And our main team, our boys, Seirin High School, has a guy who can pass without people noticing him. And then the other red-haired man named Kagami, whose superpower is that he can literally jump extremely high. And oh yeah, I forgot to mention, but this story is about our main team winning this tournament for their senior senpais because this is their final year. No, our senpais, not yours, ours. They need to win. They need to leave with a W before they lose their passion for basketball before graduation. Oh yeah, I forgot. Other teams have senpais too. They don't want them to leave either. Well, fuck their senpais. Our senpais matter the most. Nobody is more important than our senpais, and don't you ever forget it. We will win. Those generation of miracles don't stand a chance because we will carry our senpais' passion on our shoulders, and that will make me jump even higher. Kuroko No Basket first aired in 2012 as an anime, but as a manga started in 2008. It has become over a decade old as of now. And even though the plot is okay and not the greatest plot you'll ever see, such as plots like Code Geass, Steins Gate, or even Berserk, where these stories are so great, then you have a show like Kuroko No Basket where it's about winning this tournament, and it's important because their senpais are leaving. Within the show, we have a basketball team called Seirin High, who were a great basketball team that got devastated due to their, best center having a career-ending injury. So because of that, what they did was what any respectable team would do, and that is fall apart and lose their big tournament. Now, the year after that, they are now dealing with a group of kids called the Generation Miracle, who has literal superpowers. First, we have Shintaro Midorima, who can shoot a 3-point from anywhere on the court. I mean, he can be half court, full court, and he'll be able to make it nothing but net. Then we have Ryota Kisei, who can copy any person's technique, including the Generation of Miracles techniques we will find out later on, and be able to match it perfectly. Next up, we have the center, who is a very tall human being in Atsushi Murasakibara, and he is one of the best defenders in the league. He is so hard to get past that he can cover the entire court. Then we have the captain, Seijiro Akashi, who has a literal Sharingan from Naruto, and he can make you fall at his sheer presence. Then finally, we have the monster of the group. Yes, the monster of these monsters in Daiki Almine, whose ability can be described as extremely fast, extremely strong, and extremely skillful. It is shown that he can essentially score the basketball from any position on the court. Say he's going for a layup and then he gets blocked. He can go behind the freaking board and shoot it behind the board and make it nothing but net. He also quoted one of my favorite quotes in all of anime, and if you met me on the street, I would say this line to you somehow, and that is, the only one who can beat me is me. The story starts off with Seirin High doing their tryout to see what freshmen will be joining their team to score the Winter High Championship Cup. But we all know the Generation Miracles is superior. And of course, our main boys, the protagonists Kagami and Kuroko, make it onto the team with, no problem at all. And with them making the team, they have to do something so vital, so important, so hard, that if they do not do it, they will never be able to play basketball again. This task was to go up on the roof of their school building, climb up on the edge, and then leap the dreams out of their minds and in the public eye. So obviously, our main protagonist boy is like, I want to win a championship, be the very best that no one ever was, then become an NBA player, become their best player, then after realizing my dream, become the greatest coach that no one ever was. What did you say? Can you repeat that? I said I'm gonna be the very best that no one ever was. What? I'm gonna be the very best! Can you repeat that? Okay, I'm out of here. Then finally, after that, he was going to catch every single type of Pokemon in Brilliant Diamond. Hence starts their journey from being nobodies in a league where if you do not have a superhuman on your team, you automatically lose. And then to them being a team with a superhuman jumper whose talent is never giving up. They go on to get a look at one of the Generation Miracles in Kisei. You know, the guy who can copy anyone. And win, which gives Kisei his passion back once again. But do not worry, the fight was intense between Kagami and Kisei. The other teammates did nothing, except maybe Kuroko, who stole the ball and passed it. Is that something, I think? Does it call assist? So I guess he was vital, maybe, possibly, who knows. But if we're being all honest, it was who could do the better and more powerful dunk. Then they go into the inter-high preliminaries. They seem like they are going to lose 90% of their games, but somehow end up destroying them at the end. Until it was time to face the three-point god, Steph Curry, Midorima, who is part of the Generation Miracles, who is a shooting guard, and now plays within the three kings of their league, Shutoku High. Midorima is usually very reserved. He likes to have no fun even when his teammate Takao tries to persuade him to enjoy himself, but the opposite happens and Midorima gets annoyed and makes Takao his bitch. Oh yeah, this is YouTube. He makes him his peasant. He's always confident in his abilities. He often acts high and mighty around others, including his own teammates, who I feel like are nothing but peasants to him. He strongly believes in the Oha Asa horoscopes and is set at ease when he hears that his zodiac sign, Cancer, will have a lucky day, even going as far as carrying a so-called lucky item with him everywhere. This is an almighty battle because not only if they win this do they need to face off against Midorima, but will have to face off against Aomine, the freaking ace of the Generation Miracles. Okay, so of course our main boys win. I mean, come on. It's not like the main team or the protagonist team will lose. It's absolutely unlikely that they would ever lose. Well, they lost. Video over, they lost after they beat Midorima, and then they had to lose to Aomine. What do you mean? The protagonist should never lose. But I'm skipping too much ahead of myself. So Kagami beats the three-point god by jumping so high he blots him. Oh my god, who would have thought that would be the case? It's not like all he is good at is shooting 3 points or anything. It's not like Kagami is only good at just jumping really high. They beat one of the 3 kings in Shotoku High just to lose to another one of the 3 kings, making the light of Kagami and Kuroko dim. Amine destroys them completely. I mean, with some of the help of his teammates, of course. Then, of course, to celebrate the victory of Toho Academy over Saline High, we have to have their animal kicking Arakamatsu. This time, it's Aomine's kneeing him like the absolute Chad he is. This is my synopsis of Season 1. Honestly, my main reason I want to make this video isn't because I want to reiterate the best line in anime.
The only one who can beat me is me.
Even though I will also make this video about that line, you know why.
Is me.
It isn't just about talking about this entire series season by season, but the main reason is because of the fan service. I mean, look at all these thighs, breasts, booties. Oh, I'm in heaven. But can I just talk about some of my favorite parts about some sport animes? I really love the aspect of our main team winning, but I also love the idea of them actually losing too. Like, they have a big match, then they lose, and then they come back and beat the same team the next time. I love that aspect. And much as I see this trope constantly done, it never gets old. I love seeing it here. I love seeing Hajime no Ippo, and especially in the Haikyuu. So I know this video is not about Haikyuu, but I just want to talk about it for a bit. When they lost in the first season, the aftermath of the show got me so emotional. It's like the same feeling I had with Robin's backstory, or even Going Merry. The Merry's not just a ship, man. It was so well done. It's not them, it's playing everything in the moment. All they are doing is eating and tearing up. Exactly all you need for a show to make me more emotional is that. There was no words said because you do not need a bunch of words or a bunch of people explaining why this happened to have an impactful scene. Now, Kuroko No Basket wasn't as emotional as Haikyuu for me, but it still hurt. Not because of the loss, but because of how they lost. It wasn't even close. It was devastation. Now, don't get me wrong. Sailing was never my favorite team and didn't have my favorite characters of all time, but they still had characters that could get me invested in their lives. I want to see what they will do with their loss. I want to see their journey they go through to conquer this. I want to see what badonkers they see in the future. I want to see every time they decide to take a shit. Okay, but seriously, when can I see Kuroko no Toilet? I mean, we had a Gintama scene with it, where they experience the life of needing to use a bathroom instead of basketball. And instead of being for the Winter Cup by playing ball, they can be with whoever can make the biggest noise. Almine is the ace. He can shit from any angle. Mirima can shit across the room. Kisei can... Kisei can stalk people and copy their poopy. God, I hate myself. Some of my favorite parts about this show is actually the training arc of them playing in the sand. Although I've never played basketball competitively, I did play volleyball. During some of my training to be able to run faster, increase my endurance, and help me jump higher was training in the sand. Because when you train in the sand, you're limited. Your body is limited because you're constantly either slipping or you're being dragged on. But when you get through that and you're able to get faster on that, when you're in the actual court, you get a lot faster. You get to be able to jump higher because you don't have that restriction anymore. Seeing them do this, go through all the pain of training and all for improvement is truly motivating. Training arcs in shonen anime like My Hero Academia usually suck big ass. Stuff like Haikyuu, the training arcs are so gosh darn good. Honestly, this training arc was actually pretty good. We have an actual good animation and a great OST that is fun to listen to with some classical anime openings as well. One of the biggest things I show people in terms of the animation is the rematch between Kagami and Almini when they are both in the zone. And if I'm being honest, this show has better animations than even some of the mainstream ones like My Hero Academia. The animation from Kuroko No Basket are better for the most part, or even Dragon Ball. But let's be honest, that's not too hard. The fight is them both going for the ball, trying to score, but the other one will not allow it. They go so fast that neither team can keep up with them. It was unironically beautiful to watch. The colors they use match the settings perfectly. They also have some more amazing animated moments, like when Silent High went against Kisei in the semifinals, or when they went against Murasaki Bara in the quarterfinals. Or who can forget the finals of the tournament when they went against Akashi and the Sharingan. Never mind, it's called the Emperor Eye, so that's what the dub of Naruto called it. Oh no, Sasuke has achieved it! The Mangekyo's Emperor Eye, same as Akashi! I still cannot believe Boruto's dad's friend's clan stole their eye from the Eye of Akashi. But in the finals match, when Seirin High enters into the Ultimate Zone, they coordinate all their attacks instinctively, and it looks so gosh darn beautiful. This fight is tough, but ends in a dub for our boys. This anime is honestly one of my favorites, and I would honestly rewatch this over, stuff like My Hero Academia, Demon Slayer, or Dragon Ball. This show may not be the greatest show of all time, but like I said previously, you do not need one of the greatest stories of all time. It may not be able to compete with Demon Slayer in terms of animations, but it's truly an enjoyable series to watch, and that's all you need in a show. But having a great plot, great story, great characters would also help. They also made a movie called Kuroko No Basket Last Game. This movie was fantastic. In the last 20 minutes, I actually was breaking down in tears. I got more invested in the series than I thought I would. That is already better than most shows, because it means I got invested in this show. I love this show, and I will forever keep loving this show. Every part of this series, I found myself enjoying parts of it. I loved it. Like hearing the voice actors say in Japanese that someone is in the zone. This movie took all the animations I love from Almini vs. Kagami and Seirin vs. Rakuzan and made that even better. The movie was just as fantastic as the actual show, and I do believe that this movie was canon with the story. Seeing the end of the show completely, seeing the growth of a team you have grown to love throughout a series, going from a close nobody team that no one really knows who you are to a somebody, and winning a championship on top of that. In the show Haikyuu, we follow a team who have lost their members and kind of their passion on top of that to come back together and rise from the concrete. See the Crows take flight once again and take on the Mighty Eagle. We're seeing the Straw Hat Pirates come from nothing to taking on Warlords of the Sea, to getting beaten by a robot to not only come back from that, but also beat said robot with ease after a training arc, to taking on the frickin' Yonkos and the frickin' Admirals. That trope is always one of my favorite things to watch in all of anime, and the themes I mentioned were brought up in Kuroko No Basket. Of course, it may not be able to compete with stuff like Haikyuu and One Piece, but let's face it, it never had to be. Because let's face it, this is truly a game-winning series that will be one of my most enjoyable series that I will continue watching and forever will remember in my life. But the true best part of this show is when Almine punches Kaizaki right in the nose, knocking him straight on his ass, like someone would do to Goku.